A few months ago, we talked to you about our communication plan for our community and how we were using the handheld radios to get information both up and down the chain. But this only solved part of the problem. There's much more that needs to happen. And as Paul Harvey would say, now we're going to tell you the rest of the story. Hey, Provident Preppers, I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Kylene. And today we're going to talk about community communication and being able to communicate with your neighbors and those that are important so that when disaster strikes, you've got what you need to communicate with each other, because that makes a difference between life and death. Now, I'm not the expert on this. This is Johnny's baby. So I would encourage you to go check out our original video. If you click the card in the corner, I'll leave a link. But it shows how our area is divided with little areas with block captains and how they have these little radios because they're so inexpensive and it's easy to have a lot of these. And so, Jonathan, teach us the rest of the story.
So we solved part of the problem by getting these into the hands of our block captains. That allows the communication to start between the block captains and the area captains. So we're getting there, but now we need some additional capability that we don't always have with using these handhelds. These are great. I mean, these are awesome for a lot of things, and they do have a lot of capability, but we don't have enough power sometimes to get the communication done. So today we're going to talk to you about both the repeater and the radios such as these, the MXT 575 and the MXT 500, that can be used either as a base station or as a mobile base station, and we're going to show you both.
And one of the reasons why we chose Midland radios and the GMRS is because they don't require all the education that you need to have for a ham radio license. Now, I'm an amateur radio operator, and so I do have my technician class, but if we're talking about getting it into the hands of a lot of people, just bridging that gap of not having to have a license that you test for is huge. Now, these do require a license.
They do, and that's only $35 for a 10-year license, and that covers your entire family. So not a big deal, and probably the biggest part is the testing that just everybody goes, no, I can't do that. I don't understand this stuff, and that's fine. But this is the solution that really makes it work.
And the truth is, if I can pass the test, anybody can pass that test. So don't be afraid of it. But with a large group of people, that's why we did this instead of trying to get everybody to be ham operators. Now, these radios are super cool and super effective. And one of the things that is really important with them is that you practice. And we have a monthly family net where we get on the radios and the grandkids talk, and it's a little bit of organized chaos.
Absolutely, but what we're doing there is we're getting them comfortable, because the first time I got on a radio, I was about to wet my pants. I was just in a mess because, all these people are going to hear me. Now, it doesn't bother me, but that first time is like really scary. So we want these kids to learn how to just be very comfortable getting on there. We're still in the process of teaching them how to change channels and all these kinds of things, but step by step, and we're going to get there.
With what we're doing today, the mobile units and the repeaters have significantly extended the coverage. So John, let's talk first about the one you have in your office.
Yeah, this is the MXT 500. We're broadcasting with 50 watts. Because we have a metal roof, I've got a magnetic mount on the roof with a 6 dB antenna that comes down and into my office so that I can just sit at my desk and be able to talk to people. Now, 50 watts, when we're talking these little units, we're talking, 1 or 2 watts. This one's 5 watts. Well, this is 50 watts, and so we can really project a long ways. And I was able to actually talk to my boys 35 or 40 miles away and have a very clear communication, which completely surprised me at first, but when you're generating and using that much power, you can get a lot of communication done. So these are so powerful in being able to reach long distances. The antenna on my roof is an omnidirectional, which means it's broadcasting in all directions. But if you're just needing to communicate in one direction to one place, you can get a beam antenna, And that actually uses all that energy going one direction, so you get even more projection and better communication. So there's a whole variety of antennas and ways to mount them. We're just showing you a couple today.
So in addition to John's office unit, in any type of a disaster, it's important that you have a mobile unit. Now, he could pick up that unit from his office and take it with him, but one of the things that we did is we installed an MXT 575 in our Suburban, which is, you know, the vehicle that we would go to get places, right?
Yeah.
So that we have that mobile capability. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about how you did it in the car?
So the 575 now, when we're using this one in my office, it's got a power supply that's sitting right underneath it. You can either use these with a vehicle, power it by the vehicle, or you can power it using the power supply. And in the office, I'm using a power supply. In the car, we're using the actual connection to the car. And
To the battery in the car?
yeah, okay. It's actually connected to the battery. And so we've got that same power in the car, but it's mounted in there. It can come out. It's in a bracket that I can pull it out. I could take it and put it in a different car. And you may actually want to do that. You may want to have a harness in each vehicle, or, you know, several vehicles, because you may not know which vehicle you're taking. So you could move it from vehicle to vehicle, but you also just need to have an antenna to go with that. For right now on this vehicle, I have the 2.1 dB antenna. So this is just a nice little compact antenna, as opposed to the one that I'm using for the MXT 500. That one is a 6 dB antenna. This is a 2.1. So anytime I want, I can spin this antenna off and replace it with the 6 dB. If I'm in a place where I really need more coverage, more ability to communicate, and it's not as good, then I can pull this one off, put the 6 on, and that just makes it really slick. But for now, I like to have this little 2.1. It's very clean and not as obtrusive. The nice feature of the MXT 575 is that all your controls are right here on the mic. So this is really nice to have in a vehicle, because you've got everything. You don't have to be messing around with something down on the dash. You can have this. And of course, we always want to be safe. Don't be distracted by this, but all your controls are right here. Your menu buttons, your on-off button, your channel buttons, everything you need is right in this microphone unit, so that it makes it real simple to get what you need done on the fly and have everything right there. In comparison, this is the microphone for the MXT 500, which is great for a base station because you're doing different functions. You're not traveling. This is really nice. But all the controls for the MXT 500 are on the base station itself.
But now the coolest thing that significantly expanded our capability is the Midland MXR10 repeater. Like, John's been dreaming about this forever.
So yes, we have mounted an antenna on top of the tower. So we've got that thing up there 40 feet. And I should mention here that kind of the two keys for being able to communicate long distance is both the power, but also being able to get that antenna up there where you get it out of all the congestion and the stuff that's in the way. This is the Midland MXR10 repeater. This allows us to bring in a weak signal and send it out at 10 watts. So that's a great thing. That's not as much as some of the MXT 500 or the 575, but it's plenty for our valley here to get the signal out wherever we need that to go. So this brings in the signal. If we're using the repeater, it comes in at 5 megahertz higher than the normal channel. So the 15 repeater is 5 megahertz higher. It comes in and then it broadcasts out on the normal frequency so that it can be heard by everyone that's on that channel that needs to hear. Some of the handhelds don't allow for use with a repeater. They're not repeater capable. But the GXT 3000 and the GXT 67 that we talked about before, they are repeater capable, and that's what makes this system so beautiful, is those with those radios and with the MXT 500 and 575, they're all repeater capable, so we can send weak signals to this repeater, which has the antenna up on the tower, and this will spit it back out at 10 watts and it strengthens that signal. So it's just a great addition to our system. And we can make that repeater semi-private If we need to, in an emergency situation, we don't want a lot of extra traffic on there. And so we can put in a PL tone that only people that know that PL tone can actually access the repeater. Now, there's ways around that, but we won't get into that here. We just have that ability to make it mostly private for our needs to get that done. Not that we want to be selfish, but if we've got a lot of traffic that needs to be passed, the ability to do that is significant and important to us.
As you can tell, John knows a lot about radios. Not so much. Let me tell you how I see this serving us. So because if we have block captains who are responsible for a certain cul-de-sac or, a group of 10 homes or whatever, and they have this, they can radio in, they can check on everybody there, find out what the needs are, find out what help we need, and then they call or they radio in and they talk to the guys who are the area captains, right? And they've got these, but you've got to be able to get that information up to the command center who's really going to be able to help. And so that's where the repeater comes in. That's where the mobile unit comes in. And like in John's office, he has this amazing, what do you call it? This amazing device that can talk to people so far away. I think it takes all of it, but the beauty is not everybody needs to know how to operate the more challenging equipment. Some of us, like me, can be very happy with one of these or one of these, and I can do my job with it. When we're talking about this, it's not really about radios, it's about community resilience. And by having the correct systems in place and the correct equipment, and those who know and love this stuff, organizing all of us who just don't know so much, right? What we can do is we can take care of each other. And regardless of what kind of disaster strikes, our community can be strong, we can take care of each other, and we can make it through. So we totally want to thank Midland for supplying these radios for us because they made John's dreams come true. And we will leave a link to these radios. If you use the promo code Provident, you can get 10% off, and I would start to watch because now is a great time. We're thinking about Christmas. What a great thing to get all your kids a way to be able to communicate with Grandma and Grandpa.
That's right. And I should mention, you may not have a community communication plan, but maybe you just need to be able to connect with your family, because I can't imagine anything more difficult to me than not knowing what's happening with my kids. If they're, where they are, what's happening, the ability to reach out and connect is so important to me.
By getting all the same radios, that we know that they all work together, right? These all talk to each other, which is such a great tool. So practice makes perfect, right?
Yep.
When cell phones fail, your network can still be up, running, and enabling you to communicate. So for today's question of the day, we just want to know, do you have a communication plan for your family or your community? Are you ready to handle an emergency? How far will your handhelds reach? Do you need to up your game a little bit? Comment below. Share so that we can all learn, so that we can get better, because when we look in the world right now, disaster is around every corner. And the important thing is that communities, we've got to stick together. We've got to take care of each other, because that's how we're strong.
So there you have it. Let's get the job done. And thanks for being part of the solution.